Welcome to week 7 of Spark Nature, Beads and Bracelets.
Hi friends, welcome to Spark Nature, week 7, Beads and Bracelets. For thousands of years, beads have been used across indigenous cultures as currency, ceremony, identity, and storytelling. So this week, we're honoring this ancient practice and giving children a chance to slow down, focus, and create something meaningful. Using clay, string, and beads, we will make our own bracelets. But first, we start in circle and go for our morning walk before Mr. Adam leads the way.
Beads. They were found around us. Before plastic, what could be made into a bead? Clay. We're going to use clay when we get back. Sticks. You could use sticks. So think about that. Maybe in the free time you guys want to whittle your own bead and add a design to it. So let's keep that in mind. Maybe you find the perfect little stick on the ground. What about a seed?
Yes.
What about like an acorn or a pine cone? We could probably string that into a bead too. So keep an eye out on our walk. Be aware of what could be a bead. So let's all begin this way, guys, and we'll go to the grove.
On our stroll, we gathered pine cones, twigs, leaves, and stem to later use for bracelet making. We also played in the stream, climbed trees, and soaked in the glorious sunshine before I led a meditation about how we, as a community, are like a string of beads, all different, unique, and connected.
Okay, your eyes are closed. And I invite you to take a big, deep breath. And I want you to imagine that as we're holding hands, we're one long string creating a necklace. A long string that stretches from person to person, from child to child. And on this necklace, there are many beads. And each one of you represents one bead. Big, some are small. Some are shiny, some are bumpy. Some might be multiple colors. Some might be made of bone or shell or seed. So with your eyes closed, using your imagination, imagine what color, what shape, what style of bead you are. Is that we're all unique. We're all different. But all together, we make a beautiful piece of jewelry. We make a beautiful community.
Next up, we moved on to our first activity of the day, making our own beads by hand using air-dry clay. Our first step was brainstorming what shapes we wanted to turn into beads, and we decided on rings, spheres, and triangles.
You're going to make a snake. Does everyone know how to make a snake with clay? If you don't, just watch me. You're just going to roll with your palm. I'm going to pinch it off, and all I'm going to do is connect the ends. It's a very simple bead, but we're also going to give you clay tools so you can draw into your bead. There's one bead. How do you make a sphere? How do you make a ball with clay? Doing what I'm doing. You're going to put your, look, make a little circle. Look at that. Look at that little tiny ball. These are not candies. Do not eat them, okay? What am I using? I'm using the other end of the paintbrush. We probably don't use this end that much, right? You're gonna poke a hole. It's a little bit of a different type of ring. While it's on the paintbrush, you can just pinch it and then slide it off. And now you have a smaller ring. It's a different one. Here's my cardboard. I'm gonna use a little tool on my cardboard and I'm gonna cut it out. 1, 2. Okay, I've got a triangle. What am I going to use again? Oh, Mr. Paintbrush. I'm going to use that paintbrush. I'm going to poke it right through the middle.
Then the children got to work, rolling, pinching, smoothing, and shaping the clay into 2 to 3 beads of their choice. It's such a rich sensory experience, taking an idea from imagination and turning it into a tangible object. And every tiny movement, pressing, poking, refining edges, is strengthening fine motor muscles, hand-eye coordination, and focus. Next up was some free play with lots of big, gross motor movements before our second activity of the day, practicing how to tie square knots to create bracelets with Mr. Adam. Here he is with the overview.
Today, we're learning the square knot, a simple and versatile knot used throughout history. It's been tied for centuries to secure bandages, sails, and even to make jewelry. like the bracelets we're about to create. The key to remembering it is this simple phrase: right over left, left over right. Say it with me: right over left, left over right. That's the rhythm of the square knot. We'll use string to make our bracelets. Since our hands will be busy, we'll hold one end gently in our mouths to keep the direction steady. That way, our right and our left will stay in the same place. As you tie, you might notice the string twisting or the pattern slipping out of place, and that's okay. Every knot takes patience. When your knots line up neatly and you see a little square shape begin to form, that square means your knot is locked. The bracelet is strong, and you've turned a simple string into something beautiful. Just like overcoming a challenge turns effort into strength.
Even though this activity brought up some frustration and challenges, the children persevered. With patience, focus, support from friends, and a whole lot of encouragement, they figured it out and completed the task, growing in confidence and trust. Look at our beautiful finished bracelets. After concentrating for a good stretch, it was time to play. Rolling, running, and climbing, with lots of big body movements, brought the perfect balance to all the fine motor work we had just done. Then it was time for our final activity of the day, making a second bracelet using both the beads we created and our beautiful bead collection. Children first decided what color string they were going to use, then taking their field journals, sketched out the pattern that they wanted to make before going over to the bead section and selecting the beads to create that pattern. Then the children returned to their seats and got to work, diligently stringing each bead with precision and care. At times, the task got challenging, requiring a lot of focus and patience. Once their bracelets were complete, each child selected 5 beads to add to our Spark Nature community string, tying beautifully back to our theme of interconnectedness. We love how each one turned out and are so proud of how the children met challenges with perseverance and creativity. Here are our reflections.
Today, it's okay for children to attempt hard things. Learning how to tie knots, looping, intersecting, tying loops, tying knots, threading the needle. These tasks today presented challenges to some of the children, and that was okay. They got frustrated. We talked about breathing through it and not giving up, and it's okay to try to do hard things because that's how we learn. So I found that to be a really instructional element of the day, and they did get it. And the satisfaction and confidence that you build when that happens is amazing.
Something that was a big emphasis today was fine motor skills. So because we give children a lot of freedom, they're running, they're jumping, they're climbing, which is more gross motor development. But today we really used our hands. So whether it was using clay to build the bead or to tie knots to make the bracelet or then to string beads on, children really had to focus and have good hand-eye coordination. And similar to what Sebastian said, it wasn't easy. We definitely challenged the children today, but we believe in healthy challenges. We want them to feel some of that pressure, some of that friction. We want them to work through their emotions of frustration or overwhelm or confusion, because this is where resilience is built. This is where self-trust is cultivated. And so it was great. It's also interesting to see how children respond differently. Some kind of powered through, some asked for help, some kind of quit and then came back to it, some needed words of encouragement. And so we just held space for it all and really just reminded kids that it's okay to be challenged and it's good to be challenged. That's where we really grow.
That's a wrap for week 7, beads and bracelets. An action-packed day full of fine motor skills, a little frustration, plenty of focus, and a lot of creativity. It served as a wonderful reminder for children and adults that we can do hard things. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and help us spread the spark. Remember to get yourself and your kids outside.